show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
All right, let's get it. Blackout hour has returned, ladies and gentlemen.
We are back.
For sure, man. It's going to be a good one. Spice, a lot of spice. A lot of spice this time around.
A lot going on in the world.
Nah, there's so much going on in the world, actually. So we're going to get right to it. Reminder that we are having a special YouTube live tomorrow on your episode, How to Boost Your Credit Quickly with Roland Martin. That's really important. So 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Check us out. And then Carnegie Hall. We're gonna be performing on Carnegie Hall on my birthday. Legendary vibes. We got Robert Smith. We got
again for the record.
For sure. The CEO of Louis Vuitton. Musical performance by the legendary Rakim with a live orchestra behind him. And a bunch of other surprises. So February 27th, a great day in world history. Tuxedo gowns type vibes, that Black excellence type vibe. CarnegieHall.org/Power Network. There is a code if you're interested in the code EYL 53298. We doing it again. We running it back. 3rd year in a row. So man, more history to make. Ian, any announcements?
That's the code you use when you got to call to Uncle Brock.
Facts. Batman.
Real Batman bat signal. If you want to get rich from investing in the market, go to ianinvest.com and join Red Panda Stock Club. Over 95 prices of where to get in. Microsoft price touched Monday. NVIDIA touched after the DeepSeek information came out. Prices came out 2 weeks ago. We had an amazing call on Monday. I've been dropping gems of the day. And also, if you were at the mastermind this past weekend, Stock Club has their presentation loaded up in Telegram already. If I've made you money, please put yes in chat. And shout out to my Red Panda Sports family, where we turn players into owners one day at a time. If you are an athlete or agent, please hit me up if you want to partner. And let's have an amazing show. Be there on the 27th. No, I can't get you into his after party for like 20 grand. I may. Every shot, he go 10. Feel happy birthday. May get backdoor access in the back kitchen or something, but be there on the 27th. It's going to be a good time.
That's a fact. So, okay. A lot going on. We do have a special guest that's going to join us in a little bit. But first, I want to start out with something that's a little controversial. Put on Instagram. Now, keep in mind, I didn't make this list, but I did see it. Caught my attention.
Oh, we're starting here? Okay.
Die Fresh, that's the name of the page. Shout out to them. But top 5 best dressed cities of all time, and this is the list that they made. And they had Chicago at number 5. They had Detroit at number 4, Philly at number 3, DC at number 2, and New York at number 1. Best dressed cities of all time. So caused some level of controversy. Mainly what was most people was saying is that Detroit should be higher. Philly Philly's a little shaky, and some people thought Chicago will be higher. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts, but I thought this was a good list because I felt like how they worded it was important. Best dressed cities of all time. So to me, that's more so like speaking to the culture, like who's really getting fly, because they didn't say top fashion cities of all time. Of course, Miami would have to be on that list, even LA, but LA was never known for fashion as far as getting fresh when it comes to a culture. Our culture, at least. LA known for khakis and Chuck Taylors. Miami throw it on for real, but to me, I think of Miami, that's more like drug culture, like on the Cuban side. Rick Ross, he kind of bridged that gap with the silk shirts and all that. But before that, it was like Uncle Luke and Trick Daddy, and they ain't really black culture. Never really, I ain't see that.
Adopted to yeah.
Now, what's interesting to me is that, of course, I think that New York City is number one for a variety of different reasons. As far as when you think about fashion, that's always been New York, like from suits to streetwear to, you know, high fashion, low fashion, whatever you want, hip hop culture. I mean, that's just it's always been a part of hip hop culture when it's New York. Like from Biggie with the Cool G's, Nas with the Averex. You got Wu-Tang Clan when they came out with the Tommy Hilfiger, the Wallaby Clarks, and then of course Dipset, Jim Jones wearing Chrome Hearts 20 years ago with the belt.
Even going back further with the drug dealer era that inspired LL Cool J, like
that's a fact. Alpo and all of them with the Sergio Tacchini mesh suits and all that. Yeah, fashion was always a part of New York. Still is to this day. Still. When you look at ASAP Rocky and that whole movement that they pioneered. So DC is interesting because DC to me, I used to live in Maryland, so I understand PG County for sure. PG County, DC, they got their own thing going. They always had their own thing going. They had their own fashion brands, and they never really got a lot of credit because they never had a superstar rapper.
Yeah, they
like put them on, they never got put on the forefront. But DC always had its own style. Philly to me is interesting because Philly, I don't think it should be number 3. That's just my opinion. No disrespect to Philly. Philly known for the Michelin-S. They started that. That comes from Philly. Even though it got popularized by people like Fabulous and stuff like that, but it comes from Philly. Yeah. Philly, they was rocking like polo, a lot of polo back in the days, like buttoned up to the top. Like they wear the polo shirts buttoned up to the top. But I didn't really see too much fashion influence coming from Philly like that people took. Detroit, 100% fashion influence. That's a fact. Like Cartier, the Buffs, the Minks, the Gators. Detroit, a fashion city for sure. Yeah. Black culture, Detroit's up there.
Yeah.
Chicago, once again, no disrespect. I love Chicago, one of my favorite places in the world, but I don't look at Chicago as fashion inspo. You got people that come from Chicago that have made history in fashion, like Kanye West and Jerry Lorenzo and Virgil for sure. But I mean, what trends has Chicago actually started when it comes to fashion? Like, you know, drill rap, but that's not fashion, right? Like Common, he wasn't on no fashion. Lupe Fiasco wasn't on fashion. Like, I don't know what we can say. Okay, this is what Chicago started when it comes to fashion. Maybe I'm wrong. Put it in chat if I'm wrong. No disrespect, but you know better than me because you actually from the area. So that's just my rundown. If it was up to me, it would be New York at number 1.
Yeah,
it would be
DC number 2.
I'll probably put DC number 2. I'll probably put Detroit number 3.
Wow. Yep.
I will probably put
Chicago.
This Philly thing is just I'm trying to see where Miami fits into this. Because you can't deny the influence of Miami. It is a fashion. Yeah. It's a fashion capital for sure. Even though it don't hip hop fashion, not necessarily, but it's a fashion capital.
It's a very fashionable city. It always has been.
No. You know what? No, we're not doing that. Because if you go to Miami, you putting that shit on. So we're not disrespecting Miami. I'm gonna put Miami at number. I'm gonna put Miami at number 4. I'm having trouble with Chicago. I don't know.
Chicago is a fashionable city, but when I'm from the Midwest, 219, Northwest Indiana, shout out Chicago, South Side, West Side, love y'all dearly. If we go way back, gangster style suit that originated in Chicago, 60s and 70s, men and women were very fashionable in terms of like dressing up. The 80s and 90s where it gets lost because it was because Chicago didn't have a major record label in the city. A lot of the styles were hodgepodge from other places. So like a lot of the fur wearing, Averex, Pelly, that was derivative of Detroit. I'm gonna be honest. Then Kanye West came in, but you can argue Kanye West got some of that inspiration from the East Coast, brought it back. So there's some fly people in Chicago. But as far as like a certain style, until we get back to the drill era and the dreads and trues and that vibe, I don't know if Chicago has a signature
look.
style or look in the same way in the 80s or 90s and early 2000s. They didn't have a signature music sound for a long time. So, Chicago, when I come back and get my Garrett's, don't pull up on me.
No, like I said, I love Chicago. I'm just saying, like, as far as, you know, I'm just trying not
I
to
would
bias.
put Chicago 5th. Miami would have to be 4th for sure, and I think that's a low rating.
Yeah, Miami. That's you go to Miami, you bringing outfits with you.
For sure. You putting some effort planning because everybody's gonna be fly. If you had the right spell of sparrow, sweet gecko, real quick. Miami, you have to come prepared. Or you're gonna get washed out.
How you feel about Philly?
I haven't been in Philly enough to know fashion stuff, but I can't remember. I know Mitchell and Ness for sure. I remember the polos back in the day. I don't remember them being like a fashion staple.
Like Philly was heavy on polo. Philly and Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn was heavy on polo. Philly was heavy. Like even Wallow. I didn't realize, he told me years ago, that's how he got his name. People think because his name is Wallace that they call him Wallow, but he was a low life. So low life was a crew back in the 90s where they only wore polo. Like every single day they wear polo every single day. So he was a low life. So that's where he got Wallow from. So Philly was big on polos. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like
you got to make an argument for LA too.
Yeah, LA just the culture though, right? Because I feel like, all right, in New York, growing up, you get, it's crazy. It's unfortunate
that you every kind of look. Yeah,
but I'm saying, like, even in high school, you would get like bullied and joked on if your fashion wasn't right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you had like, we had Gore-Tex. We was wearing Gore-Tex back then. Bears, A Solo. But then there was another Mountain Gear came out, which was a knockoff. Was it a knockoff brand? If you had Mountain Gears, you was getting clowned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you had Polo Association, crazy. If you had what was it? What was the knockoff? Lugs for sure.
Lugs, yeah.
Lugs for sure. What was the knockoff jeans? There was some knockoff jeans. Damn, it's so much. Yeah, it's a lot of that type shit. So it's like you had to spend North Face. If you ain't have the North Face, when I was in school, if you ain't have the North Face or an Averex, you was a dub in high school. Like, you wasn't the man if you didn't have a North Face or Averex. Vance's, those cost a little bit too much money, so we wasn't really. I mean, everybody respected the Vance, and that was kind of elite level. But if you ain't had that North Face, and then if you had the full flat, like I had the full length joint, the different color, like the Bumblebee, the yellow and black joint, like that North Face was everything in high school.
Yeah,
I don't think LA has that. LA, I mean, even for gang culture, you couldn't even wear certain stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Like LA, you wasn't really. I don't think. Maybe correct me in the comments, but I know a lot of people from LA. I don't think that was on it like that. They wearing t-shirts and khakis, and you know.
Chicago had Jordans, though. I know they were everywhere, but
Chicago had Jordans? Well, Michael Jordan played for Chicago. Like,
listen, the dope is Jordan. I'm gonna be real. All the re-rock shit that Nike put out, that came from out of Don C and Kanye brain.
No, they got fashion icons for sure.
Yeah.
They got fashion icons for days. But shout out to Chicago. But y'all put in chat, who y'all think, what do you think about the most fashionable cities of all time? Best dressed cities of all time. Let me know. We're speaking of Chicago.
I mean, but we're not doing international because London.
No, London. No, internationals are different because you got London, gotcha. You got Paris. To me, New York is the only city in America that makes the international list. But I would say New York City. Then you got London. Then you got Paris. I haven't been to Tokyo yet, but everybody tells me Tokyo. Everybody tell me Tokyo. And then the fifth one, Milan, maybe?
Yeah, probably Milan or somewhere in Italy. Yeah. Speaking of Chicago legend, Kanye, what you feel about Ye? You know, he broke the internet a few days ago. He came to the Grammys with his wife, and she was damn near naked with the see-through. What you think about that? I'll start with the positives. I'm happy to see Kanye back in the creative zone. If you've been on Twitter, he been tweeting away like he Don Jr. So, but if we're talking from a business perspective, we'll talk about it. I don't like the conversation around the way he's treating her and its abuse. But from a P.T. Barnum, show up and make a spectacle standpoint for your brand as you're coming back out, as you've been fighting for your rights, and you've been declared billionaire once again by whatever company that valued that. I thought it was a hell of a marketing move. Even when people were saying, well, he got kicked out and that wasn't true. Some people were saying that he just like stole a moment onto the Grammys. We've both been to the Grammys. Security there is tight. I think it's a brilliant move to steal the show because outside of Kendrick and Beyonce, he was the most talked about moment of the night with that move. So I think it's great branding. You can argue if it's morally acceptable, but I do love to see him being back creative, losing weight, being back in shape. He feels like Paul's the old Kanye. So from a marketing standpoint, I loved it. Now I don't know, we can have the conversation about is it right or is it moral or them trying to weaponize this later against him, but from a marketing standpoint, he put on a spectacle for sure.
Literally. Okay.
What do you think?
I agree. I think it was marketing. I think Kanye is the best marketer, and he's willing to do things that nobody else is willing to do.
Sure.
As far as the moral compass of it, I mean, you can make your decision about that.
Yeah.
But as far as like, he got an album coming out, so one thing about he knows how to get attention.
For sure.
But I just want to hear the music. I never loved Kanye just for the theatrics. I love Kanye for the music. I love Kanye for everything that he's done, as far as what how he changed the culture, business, fashion, like all that type stuff. So I'm really interested in hearing the music because I heard it's good. So
yeah,
we'll see. But then speaking on this, talking about fashion. So Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys, I think, something like that. And he came through, and shout out to Beyonce, album of the year right there.
For sure.
But he came through with the Canadian Tuxedo.
I've never heard it called that before.
You never heard that before?
On the Rock?
Yeah.
A denim fit?
It's a pretty because even when we had it on the McDonald's All American game, that's what they was hitting us up with, the Canadian Tuxedo.
Okay, gotcha.
No, it's been around. It's been around for a while.
Gotcha.
I definitely think that he did that on purpose. But even more so, this is tough for Drake, right? I mean, you seen Dr. Dre and Lucian Grains high-fiving each other,
looking like best of friends. That's tough.
Is it a conspiracy?
Beyonce clapping, Taylor dancing.
Is this a conspiracy to end Drake's career?
I don't conspiracy. No, because I think all the information is public. I'm
saying the push.
A coordinated effort for sure.
A coordinated effort
for sure. And there's two sides we have to talk about: what they did right and what Drake did wrong. But when you see the entire industry and then the crowd sing that A minor line when Kendrick goes up there, what did Kendrick do right? He was pushing this campaign for a long time, and from what I heard, they were making him wait until the right time. But yeah, it's a coordinated effort, and I like Drake a lot. Love the music. I think one of the best artists of all time, but let's talk about what he didn't do right. Over 15 years, he mismanaged a lot of those relationships. I know we go back and forth about if someone or something is bigger than the program, but the person who is cutting your checks, you cannot get into it with. It's not a wise decision. A lot of times in business partnerships and relationships, I need y'all to tune in. Lesson of the year or decade, appreciate what you have, because if it goes away, you're not able to easily replace that thing that you once had. Everyone has an ego and be like, yo, man, if I leave this situation and go here, I'm going to be just as lit. You don't know that. Sometimes the thing that you have may be the best thing you ever get in your life, but you don't know it until you lose it. So people were saying, yo, he won another deal. I went back and listened to the album with him and Future. That came out in what, 2018, 2017? He was saying on that album, I just signed my deal. I'm ready to sign another one. You know I'm good for it. So if you're upsetting the powers that be, and Kendrick and Top have been waiting to destroy you, but they were held back for all this time, when they finally get their moment, they're going to shine. So I think it's a great lesson in managing relationships. You don't hear Jay have these kind of problems, or Beyonce or Taylor Swift have these kind of problems, because it's not worth it to go to war with those that are elevating you. So yeah, it's a conspiracy, but I think everybody knows it.
Yeah. When you see Lucian Grain and Dr. Dre high-fiving each other,
it looked like a celebration of war. The whole arena, like, different. Like, the few people I knew, there was like the energy in there when he won was elation from the industry. And everyone's like, yo, the people who brought him up are responsible for tearing him down. It's a different conversation. But like, when you have a power that be that helped pick Kendrick for Super Bowl, Lucian and Drake relationship fell apart. There's a lot of other relationships that are not going as well. And then one thing he didn't factor in is the West Coast standing together behind him. And I heard it, and I'm sure you heard it too. Man, Kendrick got another 20-some songs in the tuck.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Just for him.
It's one of these things. Be careful who you go to war with, because you never know how far somebody will take it. I don't think he ever thought that he would take it this far, or that he would even go this far. But it did. It did. And before we bring our guest on, just to add some historical reference back to that fashion thing, Paco was the brand that I was thinking about. If you wore Paco, actually, Paco was unacceptable. That was an unacceptable brand, for sure.
Paco and Jenko was like the same.
Yeah, Paco, legendary. Paco was legendary. Dub move right there. But let's bring our guest up. We got Roland Martin in the building.
What's happening?
What's up, my brother?
How are you? Oh, we got the Rockets on.
Oh, come on now. Second best in the Western Conference. So we've been at a rough last 3 seasons, a real young squad. So
yeah, let's turn it around.
Got to represent H-Town. So
For sure.
Yeah, Ime is handling his business with the Rockets.
No, it's short. They're doing a great job, but especially with the talent that they have, you wouldn't think that they would be this far along. So shout out to him.
They real young.
Yeah. Nah, they're gonna be a problem, man. But first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right. So to give perspective, we have a few different shows that we run, right? Like this show called Blackout. So it's a more uncensored, uncut, raw. This is a late night show. It comes on at 10 o'clock at night, right? For a reason. With that being said, let's get right to it.
Did the 6 p.m.
Did the Democrats sold out Black America?
No. When first of all, anyone says that, what does that mean? Unpack it. What does that mean?
Well, all right, let me unpack it for you. So when I say the Democrats, I mean like the democratic structure, right? So we have the democratic structure as far as their strong base when it comes to Black America. So we have the politicians, the elected politicians, right? Which is the Congressional Black Caucus, pretty much. We could throw the mayors in there too. But then we have the clergy, right? They've always been part of the Democratic support when they need Democratic votes. So clergy, the Divine Nine, strongholds in Black community, NAACP, stuff like that. What people are saying is that, what have we really got? That's why Trump had got more support, I think, from Black men specifically than he did even last time, is because people are saying, okay, the George Floyd thing, did y'all really hold them to the fire? Have y'all really pushed for Black agendas? We getting different bills for Asian hate crime, but we're not getting bills specifically for Black people. I'm just telling you what the audience. I'm telling you what the audience is saying. Right?
I got it.
So they say it's like an elite group of Black, well-to-do people that's kind of like at Martha's Vineyard, just kind of soiree in their wine, while the vast majority of Black people on the ground are not seeing any benefits.
Okay, that's the setup. Got it. All that's bullshit.
Why?
It's bullshit because what we're dealing with people who literally are not operating from a sense of knowledge, a sense of facts or perspective. So when we talk about politics, okay, we got to go top to bottom, bottom to top. So I'm gonna start with the top. You got the president, executive branch. You've got the Congress, House and the Senate, legislative branch. You got the judiciary. That's the third branch. Then when you go below that, you've got 50 governors. Then when you go below that, you've got the House and the Senate in every single state. Then when you go below that, you've got county government. When you go below that, you've got city government. When you go there, you got school districts. Then you have district attorneys. Then you have judicial races. So you have all those elected positions. So that actually is what makes up politics in our country. If you look at any political survey taken from the people say that they are more impacted by local politics than they are national politics. Local, then national. So when you start breaking down, okay, what have we gotten? Then what does that actually mean? So if we start talking about specific policies, again, are we now talking about federal level? We're talking about state level. We're talking about local level, because those are the three major parts of government. When you talk about funding that comes from the federal government to the states, they typically flow from the federal government to the states in block grants. So that's how they normally are funded. So what often happens? The block grant money goes from the federal to the state. Now the question is, who controls your state government? Is it a Republican or is it a Democrat? So you've often had black mayors and Democratic mayors argue when you've had a Democrat in office, in the presidency, hey, don't send the money down to the states in block grant funding, send it directly to local. They've done that in some cases, but you really haven't heard a lot. So it's a perfect example when I talk about the utter silliness of some people who cannot read. The Asians got a hate crime bill. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. In the summary, and I've actually.
But whose fault is that? I agree with you that the Asian crime bill was blown out of proportion. But somebody put a narrative out there that this is the Asian crime bill.
No. Let me be real clear. The bill came about because of the increase in attacks on Asian Americans during COVID. That's how it came about. Let me go back. Anybody remember when there were black churches being burned down? Do you know what was passed? A bill that specifically dealt with that. People call that the Black Church Bill. It didn't only apply to black churches. It applied to all religious institutions. So narratives are formed based upon what was being established. The problem of our people is we can't fucking read. Or
No.
We can't do that.
I can't say that. I can't say it because what we did is we fell for the okie doke. Look, the Asians got a hate crime bill, and no, we didn't. It's a lie. The bill applied to everybody. Let me say it again. Everybody. I literally walked through line by line of the bill on my show. When you get past the summary, again, the summary lays out in terms of what has led to the bill. When you go through the bill, there is nothing in the bill that is specific and only for Asians. It applies. Where'd
that come from?
What did the propaganda or narrative come from?
Because this is where it came from. It came from when folks were talking about the bill. What caused the bill? What was happening in America that led to the bill? It was the increase in attacks on Asian Americans. And so, shorthand, folks called it, Asian American hate crime bill. It's not what it was. Not what it was. And again, I remember when the black churches were being burned. I remember when the bill was passed. And you know what I also did? I went through that bill on my show. I literally went through the, and guess what? The summary of that bill talks about the black church has been burned, same as the Asian bill. But when you get to the actual bill, you know what? It applied to churches, synagogues, mosques, all religious institutions. It was not solely for black people. And when I keep saying, so when people say we need a bill solely for us, that doesn't happen. There are no such bills that are solely for black people, solely for Latinos. And so we have operated in this whole, oh my, no, we need our own bill. Actually, there have been three hate crime laws, okay, that have been passed in the United States that have been driven by African Americans. When you look at the Matthew Shepard, James Byrd bill, who was James Byrd?
Yeah.
The black man who was dragged behind a truck in Texas.
Back of the truck.
I know this personally because I covered the story and I walked that road. I covered it. Khalid Muhammad and the new Black Panther Party was down there protesting. I covered there when the Klan was protesting as well. That bill actually happened. Oh, so then black people go, well, why we got to have the gay guy in the bill and why couldn't just be James Byrd? Because both crimes took place when Matthew Shepard was killed and James Byrd was killed. And so there have been these bills, but there are a lot of us who are walking around just spewing stuff that's not factual. And then folk who don't read, who don't follow, go, see, I heard so-and-so talk about it, gotta be true. It's not true. It's literally not true. And people like, and look at that bill, the Asian hate crime bill, it passed. Look, let me tell you something. When a bill in Congress passes like 430 to 1, ain't nothing in that bill. That law, everybody, that Asian hate crime law, it created one job in the Department of Justice to compile stats for 1 year. That's all that was in that bill.
Okay, and let's say all of it's true. I agree.
That's all. You can pull a bill. You can be like, damn, he was not lying. It ain't nothing in this bill. Nothing.
But you do understand the concerns that African Americans in this country have that maybe the party isn't delivering on promises said in election. If so, and the election, that ass whooping wouldn't have happened the way that it did. Like, why do you think some of the reasons she ended up losing were, and what do Democrats need to do to find another star in the party? I don't think they have.
Again, that's that. First of all, when I hear not delivered, stop right there. What are people asking to be delivered specifically?
Economic empowerment.
Stop. What does that mean? What does that mean?
More money in our pockets.
Last year, on the federal level, black-owned businesses got $10 billion in federal contracts, the largest in American history. That was last year. Okay, 10 billion. And let me remind people, especially the black men who voted for Trump, in the 4 years of Trump, they purposely, one, stopped collecting racial data. Two, they bundle contracts. What I mean by that is the only Republican, typically a Democrat unbundles contracts, meaning what Maynard Jackson did in Atlanta, where as opposed to having these large contracts where you can't bid on it, they broke them apart into smaller contracts. The only Republican governor who did not bundle them was George W. Bush. But typically, Republican governor bundles them. So what did Trump do after Obama? Bundle the contracts that made it harder for black-owned businesses, which are smaller,
to bid on them
for the contracts. Okay, what did Biden Harris do? They unbundled the contracts. What is Trump doing right now? Bundling the contracts. So $10 billion in contracts went to black-owned businesses, the most in history. Now, barely hits 2%, but it's still $10 billion. Okay, so when people say economic empowerment, let's also break this down. Black businesses, of the black businesses in America, 95% do $5 million or less in revenue. 95%. Okay. So again, when I hear people say, I want economic empowerment, I want them to say, what does that mean? That's a great phrase, but I need people to be more specific in that ask. And when you look at most economic empowerment programs, you're talking obviously Small Business Administration, incubators. Most of that stuff is actually happening on the city and the state level. So you have that. So what? Okay, economic empowerment. I got that. What else?
I want to go back to the point of why do you think the loss was so large? And it's election because it clearly
the loss wasn't large. What? How large was the loss? What was the loss? No.
You know, I love you, Jerry.
No. I deal in facts.
Swing state.
Me too.
She lost every swing state.
Define large.
Not numbers large, but as far as she lost every swing state.
Right. What was the total loss?
You tell me.
What was it?
1.6%. 1.6%. See, again, I don't.
But she got off to a robust lead, and then, like, if we're gonna be honest, the election was over with at 8:30.
No, she didn't.
Over with.
No, she didn't. Okay, she got to a robust lead. Where?
I got the call at 9 o'clock that the election was over.
I know you got it before I did.
No. You said she got
after Trump got shot and they had a Democratic National Convention. She had a lot of momentum on her side.
Okay, first of all, that ain't. Let me take you back. 1988. Michael Dukakis had a huge lead over Michael Dukakis.
He did.
Had a huge lead over George H.W. Bush, Vice President George H.W. Bush, after the Democratic National Convention. Let me say this right now. There's no election that's won at the end of August. None. None. See, that's what I'm saying. See, here's what happens. People make assumptions about various things. Last year, let me be real clear. If I take you back to the first year of Biden-Harris, smoking, smooth sailing, stuff is working. Biden's approval numbers, guess when they dropped and never recovered? Afghanistan pullout. Afghanistan pullout. That was the first major stumble in the Biden-Harris administration. They never recovered. After that, you then begin to see inflation rise. You then begin to see grocery prices rise, all those different things like that, because you were still frankly coming out of COVID. So what you had is a series of factors that were happening in America that frankly, I don't know who comes out of that. So for instance, I hear people say, well, we should have had a primary. When? The debate was June 27th. Biden dropped out July 21st. Democratic convention was a month away. 2, no candidate other than Vice President Harris could have assumed the campaign apparatus that had already been assembled, 1,000 workers in states all across the country, bank accounts, money raised. Nobody else. Anybody else, if they had gone to the convention and chosen anybody else other than her, they would have been starting from zero. Yes. No money, no staffers, nothing. Not only that, all of those, in television, you bank in your television ads. You bank in those ads in like January, February, because it's cheaper. Yeah. Anybody other than her would have been paying 2 to 3 times
3X,
more.
For sure.
See, so there was a whole.
Yeah.
So
especially going to the summertime. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. I dare say that if Harris wasn't the nominee, and let's say Biden ran, they lose. Oh. No. You said blowout? I forgot the phrase you used. Yeah. That would have happened. So people need to understand this is not all making excuses. No, I'm studying the landscape, and I'm actually looking at this from a panoramic view to understand where we were and what was going on and these conditions. America simply decided that they wanted his evil ass back.
No, he's a strong. He's a strong candidate. He's a very strong candidate.
Look how long it took Biden and the Democratic Party, just to be honest, to even reveal that his health was not even in the best condition. You don't think that hurt?
Oh, that hurt. But here's the deal. Biden was 78 when he ran. We knew his ass was old. We knew he was old. The problem, so you had all of these factors that were. Do I believe that Governor Josh Shapiro, Governor Wes Moore, Governor Gavin Newsom, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Governor Pritzker, do I believe any one of them would have won in November? Nope.
Nobody would have. Nobody. Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama.
First of all, Michelle Obama despises,
Politics.
hates.
Yeah.
Okay, I've heard it from her own mouth. She hates politics. So I wish people stop.
No, but I'm just saying. No. That's beside the point. But I'm saying
popularity.
She's the only person that could have actually given him a run for his money.
But here's the deal, though. Again, that's popularity. See, here's why I never even listen to that. I don't. The reason I don't pay attention to those popularity polls. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, popular.
He's a viable candidate.
And MAGA's trying to get to him now.
That's the problem with Democrats. You play it too safe. Donald Trump became president with no political experience.
I didn't say play safe. I didn't say play safe.
You can't throw The Rock away. He's a viable candidate.
No, he's not.
Before MAGA gets him.
How's he a viable candidate? How's a viable candidate?
Popularity does matter.
Because people love him. He's famous. He's safe. He checks off all the boxes. Why is Donald Trump?
Let me ask y'all a question. 2015, where was Donald Trump polling in the Republican primary?
Low.
How low?
Yeah,
probably
almost
less
last,
than 10%.
right? Second to last.
5%, maybe.
Was he popular? Did he have brand name?
It took time. He set the bar. You know what, Roland? No, he set the precedent of going forward in politics. It's not about Donald Trump changed with traditional politics. You had to have a family, the wife, the clean background. He's erased all of that. And going forward, there's a new precedent that's been set for celebrity. Yo, you can't say no. It's not, bro. It is.
This is a unique singular figure.
It's not.
I'm trying to tell you right now. JD Vance in 2028 can't run the same campaign.
He's not Donald Trump. He's not Donald Trump.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just told you that. I just said a unique singular figure.
You're saying he's an anomaly.
He's not Donald Trump.
But The Rock, you got people like The Rock. You got people like Steph Curry. This may sound crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah, see you laughing. I'm telling you, you got people who are celebrities.
Hey.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you.
It's funny until it's not. It's funny until it's not.
Listen, I've been asking this since the last time we was all at the White House. Who is the next Democratic superstar? There is not one.
Okay, first of all, see again, no, this is where y'all, this is the mistake y'all
Come on, schoolers, brother. Come on.
This is the mistake y'all were making. 2003, who was an unknown state senator? I mean, unknown.
For sure.
Barack Obama.
He ran for U.S. Senate 2004. He wins. He gives a speech at the Democratic National Convention in Boston. 3 months before the Iowa primary in 2000, and the primary was 2008. 3 months before the primary, how many points was he down to Hillary Clinton?
That I don't remember, but it was.
He's an anomaly. You want to talk about anomalies?
No.
He's an anomaly.
With a wide margin, right?
No. He was down 20 points. There was a debate in October where Hillary Clinton flubbed an answer regarding driver's licenses for illegal immigrants, and that was the opening that Senator Barack Obama needed. So here's the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is you may be popular. Obama came out of nowhere. Folks like, it can't be Hillary Clinton, but he put together an infrastructure that propelled him to victory. They understood. That's what they did. The reason, what I'm saying is, sitting in 2025, what you don't do, matter of fact, I'm going to go back to 2019. Who had the 3 most viewed town halls on cable news? Who was running for president?
Bernie Sanders?
Kamala Harris. The 3 most viewed. Here's what campaigns do. campaigns reveal your ability to stay in and build and build and build. She was here and came down.
Mhm.
When Trump ran in 2016, do you know who everybody said, oh my God, who are going to be the candidates to beat? Governor Tim Pawlenty of Minnesota,
Yeah.
Governor Scott Walker, Wisconsin, Midwest states, flyover states.
Yeah, they're supposed to be the next stars.
Who were the two first folks to drop out? Tim Pawlenty and Scott Walker. So I'm not wasting any energy today in 2025 on who's going to be the star, because you don't know. The person today who you think could be the star could stumble in 26. Could have a financial crisis in 27. So I don't even waste time how I operate. I'm not even thinking about 28. I'm not even thinking about 2026. What I'm looking at is building blocks. In 2 months, there's going to be a crucial open Supreme Court seat in Wisconsin.
For sure.
Okay? In April. If Democrats win that seat, they're going to have a 5-2 majority. Why is that important? Because the Republican Supreme Court got rid of ballot drop boxes. They allowed partisan gerrymandering. They allowed the Republican legislature to completely take the powers from the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the attorney general, who were all Democrats. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at November, when all of the seats in the Virginia House are going to be on the ballot. If Democrats win that and they maintain the Senate, Don Scott is still the black Speaker of the House. Louise Lucas in the Senate is controlling the money. What does that mean? Take felony disenfranchisement. In the Virginia, the governor has to sign each one. The Democrats want to put a bill up to automatically restore the voting rights of all formerly incarcerated folks once they're done serving their sentence. That is policy. That is also how you focus in terms of how you win. So I'm not looking at 26. I can't focus on the midterms. I'm looking at governor's race. Garland Gilchrist, a brother, lieutenant governor in Michigan right now. He's running for governor. A lot of folks don't know that. Richard Whitner is term limited. I'm focused on that brother winning the governor's mansion. Ras Baraka, Newark, he's running for governor of New Jersey. That's in November. So again, forgive me, for me, my focus about black politics and black power, I'm focused on 25. And then once 25 over, then I'm gonna go 26.
Let me ask you this. What happened to, all right, so, okay, we're talking about the boycott of Target and all this stuff. We could talk about that. But after George Floyd died, $340 billion was pledged to black initiatives, black entrepreneurs, black community from Fortune 500 companies across the board. To my understanding, less than like 1% of that actually ever got really delivered. Right.
See, so what was that? The numbers run from 50 billion up to that number. It's all different numbers, but go ahead.
All right. So pretty much they just said some shit that it was a promissory note. It wasn't even worth saying. If you're only going to deliver it in less than 5%, 1%, like what's the point of even saying it, right? But who's holding these? Who's holding these people accountable? All right. Let me just finish this, because it's like, my thing is, who's holding these people accountable? Because instead of focusing our issues on targeting, this is my thing with this DEI thing. I think it's a way for corporate to erase their promise for that, right? Like I promised you $100 billion. Now, if I could just dismantle DEI and say that, it's this not going to happen. Nobody's even thinking. Nobody has ever asked the question, where did all of this money go? Or where,
not true. The question has been not true. The question has been asked. But let me first of all, I did it.
You have,
but let me just. So that's two different things, but that are sort of related. So let me walk you through. So first, I'm gonna deal with the George Floyd money, then I'm gonna come back to the DEI issue. Okay, so in the United States, there have been two periods of Reconstruction, and the reason I was looking, because the books are literally right upstairs. There have been two periods. The first Reconstruction was after the Civil War. Du Bois, in his book, Black Reconstruction, puts it over a period of 20 years. Some say it really was a period of 10 to 12 years. So it was 1865 to 1877. This is considered the most progressive and expansive period for Black people in American history. Okay. You had the Reconstruction Amendments, 13th, 14th, 15th. You had the Civil Rights Law of 1866. Yeah, all these things happened. But here's what happened. After about 4 or 5 years, white folks like, okay, we done enough for these people. We done a lot. Can we move on now? Now, mind you, we had 230 plus years of slavery, but then now y'all want to sit here in 241, but let's just quickly move on. Then there's election in 1876, contested election. The Democrats, the Dixiecrats say, hey, can y'all, we'll cut a deal to y'all can remove the last federal troops out of the last 3 southern capitals. That was protecting Black rights. And we'll let y'all have a president. They agreed to it. Rutherford B. Hayes becomes president. You have the Great Compromise of 1877. Instantly, Jim Crow was put in place. That's the first Reconstruction. Second Reconstruction begins with Brown versus Board of Education, and then, of course, Emmett Till being murdered, and then the Montgomery bus boycott. That period lasts 13 years. So you had, what happened? 3 bills, same as the Reconstruction period. Civil Rights Act of 64, Voting Rights Act of 65, Fair Housing Act of 68. So those bills take place. Then, of course, you now get King gets killed April 4th, 68. Nixon gets elected in November, becomes president in 69. Arthur Fletcher then institutes affirmative action programming. But what then happens? You begin to have white backlash. You begin to have busing. You begin to have white flight. You begin to see your first slew of Black mayors. So Hatcher in Gary, Indiana. You had Coleman Young in Detroit. You had why is escaping me, in Cleveland. Then you have Marion Barry in DC. You have Maynard Jackson in Atlanta. You've appeared about 10 years. Reagan gets elected. Croson decision. You begin to see the attack on affirmative action. You begin to see the end of quotas. Well, so what I'm laying out here is that when we've had these Reconstruction periods, it has been short-lived. May 25th, 2020, George Floyd gets killed. I'm saying, guys, this is the third Reconstruction. This is the third Reconstruction. It has to last minimum 20 years. We got to keep our foot on their neck, and we got to make sure they hold up to the promise. I'm giving speeches all across the country. Other people talking about the same thing as well. I am speaking in Houston-Tillotson. I'm speaking in Howard. I'm speaking in all these places, and I'm saying we should have these HBCU business schools. To your point, how do we track the money? I'm saying to the NAACP, to the National Urban League, to Sharpers National Action Network. Yo, I'm telling you, billions have been promised, but they were promises. I'm going to give you an example. It's about to blow y'all away. Y'all remember when YouTube made their announcement of $100 million? YouTube made an announcement of $100 million. Well, me and my boy Todd Brown, my frat brother, who doing some business together, he's with Urban Edge Network. I immediately reach out. YouTube had me participate in this thing they did with Common and some others. It was a big 1 hour and 40-minute program. They spent probably $10+ million. So I immediately reach out. I say, hey, yo, we ready. So we get on the phone. The white woman who's on the phone, she tells us, well, that was a number we threw out. Excuse me?
That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you, Todd Brown is on the phone. He can confirm everything. And Todd's like, well, we wasted our damn time talking to you. She literally says, we're just trying to put it all together. Here's what the real deal was. And she said it. She was over like YouTube Originals, whatever. She had worked at Fox and some other different places. This was the smallest budget she ever had. So you know what happened? She threw that out as a way for her to get a budget. So what they ended up doing was took the $100 million and $50 million went to her division to create YouTube Originals. And then $50 million went to the partnership program. I was like, this is some bullshit. Because I made the argument that if YouTube said we're going to give 50 Black creators $1 million to develop content, and then we're going to take the other 50 million to smaller content creators. I said, YouTube, you will make history as the largest infusion of money in Black media in American history. That wasn't the plan.
Mhm.
It was an announcement, and it was a way to get budget. What ends up happening? She bounces a couple of years later when the 50 million spent. What do you have to show for it? That actually happened. So now take the other different companies. They were making promises. I was yelling. I was like, yo, I'm telling y'all, if we don't do this, there's gonna be a problem. 2023, I'm gonna panel the NAACP Image Awards. And it was a DEI panel. I opened up. I was like on fire. I was like, can we cut this bullshit out? This shit's about to end. And man, it was Jalen Rose to my left, Kenyon Barris Jalen to my right, King to my left. Kyle Bowers was moderating. They were all like, damn, bro. I was like, y'all. I said, I'm telling y'all, this shit is about to come down unless we have a just what you just said, to get that money. I said, this shit's about to be over. I'm telling y'all. People look at me like, Roland, cut this bullshit out. Why you been all alarmed? I said, I'm telling y'all, it's happening right here. Because you know why? They attacked Black Lives Matter in 2020. Why? Because that was the first time in American history that a Black resistance movement had ever achieved a majority of Americans in support. That had never happened in American history. What happened after 2020? Biden-Harris gets elected. You now begin to see the attacks on what? CRT. What happened in 2022? The attack on woke. Then now you the attack on DEI.
Yeah.
So what you have here, because what happened in 2020, this is what scared the white power structure. For the first time in American history, we had young white people, young Latino people who were demanding change. They said, no, we can't have this shit. We cannot have this. Adidas, you can pull a story up. Adidas announced a $10 million commitment in the wake of George Floyd's death. The white folks and the Black people told me, they stepped back and chilled. The white folks inside of Adidas lost their mind. The next day, the CEO announced a $100 million commitment. What we did was, and I ain't got no problem saying it, our Black civil rights organizations, they got tons of money. Everybody talk about Black Lives Matter, how much they got. Nobody want to talk about how much money the NAACP got, how much the Urban League got. NAACP got about 140 million. Way more than Black Lives Matter. So what happened was our infrastructure got comfortable. I was yelling. I'm telling you what I said to them directly. What the fuck are we doing? There's 60 to 100 to 200 billion in commitment. We should be in their ass saying, honor your commitment.
Where's that?
Honor your commitment. Yep. But what happened was, everybody was chilling. Everybody was good. If I pull the clips, y'all will be like, damn, he is not lying. Bruh, I am literally giving speeches on HBCU campuses, imploring them to make this a project for their students to hold the companies accountable. People were just talking about it, did not want to do it. Hell, this is 2023. We at Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, AOC, Congressman Stephen Horsford called this emergency meeting dealing with Black wealth, attacks on DEI. Remember I said 2023. All right, so we in the meeting. Robert Smith is sitting to his left. Congresswoman Maxine Waters is sitting to his right. Diddy is sitting to her right. Sharpton, Morial, Derek Jackson, NAACP, Derek Johnson, all these other people, about 60 other people in the room. And everybody's talking about what we need to do, Black Economic Alliance. I mean, take your pick, all these groups. I literally say, I'm telling y'all right now, none of this will be effective unless we have a communications apparatus through Black-owned media to drive messaging. Okay, that was early October, September 2023. Stephen Horst, my frat, but I tell him, I said, Stephen, if we will talk about creating the Black wealth, we should start with every single one of these logos on the CBCF AOC banner. Let's start right here. We ain't got to go anywhere. Let's start right here. Those are our sponsors. I know that. That's the whole point. They come to y'all for a black stamp of approval. No, we got to be putting our foot on their necks. I asked 6 months later, yo, where we at?
That's true. Yeah.
We working on some stuff. They did not release. They sent out a letter to corporate America in December 2024 asking them to stand for DEI. Nobody talked about it. I had them on my show talking about it. Nobody talking about it. But 13 months went by. And I was like, y'all, that ain't going to do it. So that was in December 2024. So here we are in 2025. We see what's going on. And the
Well, so this goes back to my first question: to have the Democrats sold out black people. You just said that they didn't want to push them because that was their corporate sponsors.
No. What I said is, see again, you brought in Democrats. No, I'm talking about the entire infrastructure in Black America. What we did was we fell asleep. I'm talking about political. I'm talking about civil rights.
Everybody dropped the
ball because they got paid.
And so
or they just wasn't aware.
What they got, they were aware.
They were aware.
What happened was, again, this is one of the greatest mistakes that we do. We confuse a crumb with a meal. As opposed to, no. I'm not interested. And I got no issues. Black Lives Matter got 90 million. NAACP got 140 million.
What I'm saying
is we're leaving billions.
But we don't know though. But it also goes back to it's no. Listen, it's an elitist, right? Where it's like, all right. What I'm saying is this: like even our platform, right? It's focused on entrepreneurship, investing. There's a lot to cover. The stock market. It's a lot of stuff to cover. So our main focus is not trying to figure out government spending or corporate spending and stuff like that. That's not our main focus. But if the phone call comes yo, but listen, if the phone call comes like, yo, we need to get on EYL, we need to push this message, that we're gonna push it. But that phone call was never made. So what I'm saying is
because that was not an organizing entity that made that a functional priority. But let me go back because I don't want you to speed past what you just said, because you said what our focus is. Let me be perfectly clear. We talk about Black entrepreneurship, Black businesses. How do you grow any of these businesses? The place where you access this is through corporate and governmental dollars. Listen to what I'm saying. I get invested in the stock market, but if I can't build my business, I ain't got no money to invest. The reality is this here, and we're about to see it. We're about to see the economic calamity. You're about to see dramatic loss of billions of dollars in federal contracts, state contracts, county contracts, city contracts, school district contracts. Now, remember I told you earlier, 95% of all Black-owned businesses do 5 million less in revenue. Well, the ones that do more than 5%, where did money come from? Corporate and governmental contracts. We can't divorce that from the conversation, because there is no Black-owned business apparatus without access to those contracts. There's no other.
That's a mistake to lean on their funding, though. That's a mistake to lean on their funding, though.
Huh?
It's a mistake to lean on their funding solely.
Wait, hold up. Stop right there. It's a mistake to lean on their funding. Okay. Is there another pot of money out there that I'm not aware of?
Us collaborating.
How?
This is a prime example. I'm gonna be real. I didn't help more people make millions out of this market than any other Black person on this planet.
Hold on. That's
start here by doing this.
Out of this market, the number of people, but in order to make money out of the market, I have to have capital. I have to have additional capital to invest in the market. What I'm saying is, where do you go make the money? If you have a business, what is the business that I am in?
There's three. No, I got you. Government, corporate, and consumer. So most of our businesses are focused on consumer, which I understand there's a ceiling. I mean, Tyler Perry became a billionaire because of that, but for the most part, it's hard to reach that highest level of valuation and just dealing with consumer.
And again, I'm going back to real numbers. 95% of Black-owned businesses do 5 million or less in revenue. So in order to build a business, what type of business? I get consumer. What I am saying is, if we're talking about, listen, we can talk about Robert Smith all we want to. Where does Robert Smith get his money for his vehicles?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah.
Pension funds.
No, you're right.
Now that's government.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen when Republicans on a federal level and the state level, especially in the states where they control, start saying, oh, we don't need these programs. All of a sudden, access to that gets cut off. Now, where are we going to go? We're going to depend upon blue states. All I'm saying is, I want our people to understand that when we're talking about politics, we're talking about business, those two things go together. There ain't no mistake why Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, David Sachs, all the tech bros,
in combination,
doing what they're doing. This is business.
100%. 100%. Now
we're checking out of the process, and I'm like, they checking in.
You're absolutely right. What you're saying is not wrong. You're absolutely right. I think the frustration comes when people don't think that, okay, when we get a black politician, where's the love? Like we get, different mayor. Every city has a black mayor. Every major city has a black mayor for the most part, right?
Right.
So I'm sure that they have helped black people, but
in a huge way.
We're not seeing that.
Okay, hold on. When you say
it's not felt amongst the people,
we're not seeing that. Here again, if I look at Atlanta, if I look at Houston, look, Sylvester Turner just completed 8 years as mayor. They had never in the history of Houston did as much business with black-owned companies in those 8 years that he was mayor. Now, here's the reality. We know that, again, but here's what has to happen. What has to happen is we can't have 8 years of a Sylvester Turner and lose the mayor's race. You have to have what actually happened in Atlanta, where you had Maynard, Andrew Young, Maynard, Bill Campbell, Shirley Franklin. Which means that not checking out of the political process.
No, you're right. You're right.
In Atlanta, Republicans have been trying for 30 years to take control of the airport. Chokwe Lumumba. They've indicted him down in Jackson, Mississippi. You know what they've been trying to get control of? The Medgar Evers Airport. Why? Because it's an economic engine. And so there have been twice now where black people almost allowed a non-black mayor in Atlanta because we didn't show up to vote. So all I'm saying is, when we are saying in terms of what we need, it's also looking at this from a much wider view. Now, and I'm also saying that and this is the hardest part for a lot of people. We have to understand that the election is the end of one process and the beginning of another. We can't just go, all right, I voted, we good. No. Because you know what they doing? They mobilize and organize, they showing up. They putting that pressure on the system. They putting that pressure. No. You said this. Unfortunately, we're not doing that in significant ways. I cover city government in Fort Worth. I cover county government in Austin, Texas. And I've covered all these levels in every city I've been in. I'm going to tell you right now, straight up, no holds barred. And that's somebody black watching like, man, we got jobs, we got families. I said, I understand all that. So do they. But I also grew up because my parents were co-founders of a civic club, a neighborhood civic club, Clinton Park in Houston. You know what I saw? When African Americans mostly show up to city council meeting, school board meeting, a county meeting, or state legislature, it's in response to an emergency.
Yeah, something happened.
They're going to shut something down, cop kill somebody black. And I'm telling you, I interviewed the politician. This is what they would do. They'd be gone in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, so when you mention all those groups, I've said this to all of them, and I said it nationally. You mentioned Divine Nine. Now I'm gonna add on Prince Hall Mason, Eastern Star. I'm gonna add on the links. So that's 12 groups right there. Divine Nine of those 3 groups. You tell me in our major cities in the country, why can't Alpha say, month of January, we as a collective are going to the city council with our demands? We just asking brothers to come one time out of the year. AKAs pick February, Deltas pick March, Omegas pick April, Kappas pick May, and it goes on and on and on. But that means using our groups to mobilize outside of our personal meetings. That means you got to have an agenda beyond your personal meetings. Now it means how do you mobilize them to now take action? So what's happening right now, Again, we talk about the boycott with Target. Same thing. How do you treat that as a laser light deal? We have Black infrastructure. We have Black organizations where we meet, we talk, but the problem is those Black groups, and this is not me just saying this here, in his book, Where We Go From Here, Chaos or Community, Dr. King, in his last book he wrote, this is what he said about Black institutions. He said, we have 4 institutions in Black America that are prime. He said, they are all, this ain't Roland Martin. Okay, y'all can argue with Dr. King. He says there are already structured forces in the Negro community that can serve as the basis for building a powerful united front. He writes, the Negro Church, the Negro Press, Negro fraternities and sororities, and Negro professional associations. We must admit that these forces have never given their full resources to the cause of Negro liberation. There are still too many Negro churches that are so absorbed in a future good over yonder that they condition their members to adjust to the present evils over here. Oh, this is where he talks about us in media. Too many Negro newspapers have veered away from their traditional role as protest organs, agitating for social change, and have turned to the sensational and the conservative in place of the substantive and the militant. Too many Negro social professional groups have degenerated into snobbishness and the preoccupation with frivolities and trivial activity. But the failures of the past must not be an excuse for the inaction of the present and the future. So this is what I'm going to say to all of the people who y'all mentioned off the top. The people who have complained about what they want. People who have complained about Democrats. This is what I want to ask them. What are you going to receive sitting on the couch? Who are you pressing right now? Although Trump is in there, Elon Musk is running him up. We're still constituents. What's the demand? What are we actually demanding? To the people who are complaining about, man, we ain't got nothing. Okay, if you're complaining in a barbershop with 5 other people, what are y'all gonna do? What did the late Joe Madison always say? God rest his soul. Just a year ago, 2 days ago, he says, "What are you gonna do about it?" What I'm trying to challenge Black people is to stop bitching and complaining and say, how can I align with other people to now begin to drive an agenda? And what I am saying is the couch is not an option, because although this candidate may not agree with 10 of my points, do they agree with 3? And if this candidate agrees with none of my points, so I got 3 out of 10 here, 0 out of 10 here, who do I have a better shot at communicating and pushing to get something done? I need our people to do more than bitch, complain, and post on the show social. I want us to put pressure on the system, and you only do that through organization and mobilization.
Now you're right. It comes down to organization. But before we leave,
and mobilization.
Before we wrap, I do definitely want to give you an opportunity to clarify some things. So I don't know who reported it, maybe one of these newspapers, but they were talking about how much money different people got from the campaign. So they said that you got some money from the Democrats, right? So that yeah. You want to talk about that? Because
I don't need this ain't nothing to clarify. $600 million was spent by Kamala Harris's campaign on advertising. Let me say it again. $600 million flowed through white ad agencies to media. I'm gonna say it again, 600 million. People so folks are like, well, you got $350,000. Yep. When did I start running ads? In September 2023. Yep, you can go back and check. September 2023. Ran ads in February, March, April, May, then the latter part of the convention. Here's what ain't nobody asking. How much BET got?
How much they get?
Take a guess.
10 million?
11. Who did that money go to? Sherry Redstone. 11 million.
Who's Sherry Redstone?
Who sold Paramount to Larry Ellison and his son. See, let me say it again. 600 million. It's interesting. Black folk, they asking how much Comcast got.
That's a fact.
How
That's
much
a fact.
Disney got?
That's a fact.
How much did Sinclair local television group got? I know I can tell you right now, Urban One got money, Black Enterprise got money, Essence got money, number of other black owned media outlets. Now here's why, and I ain't got a problem saying it. Here's why I'm about to mess y'all up. Here's why folk know how much I got. Because the white ad agencies, I'm about to blow y'all away. The white ad agency called me in February. Roland, we want to run some ads. How much you think they said they wanted me to run some ads for 2 weeks?
$10,000.
5.
I was gonna say 5.
$5,000. I said, y'all out y'all damn mind.
Yeah, for real.
I know they ain't gonna tell no white network, no white local TV station.
They're not gonna tell a single white creator.
But the real trick is that they get 100 million and then they offer deals like that.
Wait a minute. So here's what happened. Roland said, I ain't fucking with y'all. Don't call me with that bullshit. The agency emailed me. The agency emailed me out the blue, wanted me to sign an NDA. I was like, whoa, hold on. What the hell am I? No, first of all, who y'all? I said, I'm not dealing with y'all. I literally said to the campaign, I'm dealing with y'all direct. I'm not going through no white agency who's about to nickel and dime me to run ads.
And they take the money.
So the money that I got to run ads came direct from the campaign because I was not going to allow my media company to get played by a white agency. So when the FTC report came out, folks saw $350,000. First of all, I'm about to strip y'all out. That was supposed to be only for the month of September. I was supposed to receive additional $250,000. It never happened. See, but again, though, all these black folks, they ain't saying shit about the 600 million. They ain't saying nothing about
or how much they paid some of those rappers.
No. Forget the rappers. I'm talking about the white media companies. See, this is the reason why black people have people sit here. Yeah, man, shit, you got 350,000. Well, let me ask you a question. How the fuck am I supposed to hire staff? How am I supposed to actually hire crew? See, here's what actually happened, and this is a problem that black people have. We actually believe that black people should be working for free and other folk get paid. And then it's like, how dare you? Well, because I told him that 5,000, I literally said, I'm not running that shit. I ain't running that.
Yeah.
That's what happened. But 600 million. Oh, but now I'm about to really fuck y'all up. Ad agency typically takes, it can be anywhere from 8 to 15%.
15%. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just say 10. Let's just say 10. That means that those 4 agencies, none of them black owned, took home 60 million in fees.
Easily.
Carol H. Williams, black owned ad agency, wasn't one of them. Cliff Franklin's Fuse wasn't one of them. Terrell Whitley's Liquid Soul wasn't one of them. So to the black folks who out there, oh yeah, he got 350,000. Okay, I want y'all to have the same smoke to say, who got the other 599 million and whatever the number is? But see, we don't do that. So let me be real clear to everybody out there who's confused. I own a fucking media company. Media companies take advertising dollars.
That's a
Disney, Comcast, every radio network,
Hulu,
iHeart, they all exist off of advertising dollars. And to all you black people with a fucking problem with me taking $350,000 in advertising money, are you aware that $350 billion is spent every year on advertising in America, and black-owned media gets anywhere from 0.5 to 1% of $350 billion.
Facts.
So the reason you don't have black-owned media hiring reporters, having bureaus, because we can't fucking afford it, because we get screwed, because we get ignored. I have met with Group M, never got a dollar from Group M ad agency. Do you know how much they represent? Upwards of 60 to 80 billion in advertising.
Yeah.
Oh, Publicis, not a dime from Publicis. Oh, Horizon. We can go down the line. We can talk about Dentsu. See, this is why I keep trying to explain to black people why we got to stop being simpletons and understand what's going on here. Black people are bitching that an owner of a black-owned media company got ad dollars. Oh, I'm about to mess y'all up. Y'all ain't saying nothing about all those black radio stations that ran Trump ads. Why is that? Because they have inventory. And when the Democrats, if Democrat PACs were not spending money, they had inventory. That's called business. So I just want people to understand. They just heard what the real deal is. The Harris campaign spent $600 million advertising. Oh, y'all didn't ask me, how much did the Future Forward, the Political Action Committee, spend? Well, you don't know, because I emailed them and called them. They never even bothered to respond to me. Oh, do y'all know that one of the white agencies that got one of the major contracts, when a black agency hit them to even have a meeting, the CEO of the white agency said, no need. I'm not interested in meeting. I got the email. So the reason black-owned media is starving on the vine is because we have been shut out of the ad dollars. And black people, every time I talk about this here, I get more likes on an Instagram post on an MJ LeBron fucking GOAT debate than I do about the 350 billion we getting screwed out of every single year.
No, that's a fact. And then it's like, if you charge for something, then they don't want to pay for it. So it's like, you want the information, you know that the media is vitally important. If you're not getting funded through corporate, the next thing is you gotta get funded through consumers.
And listen, to the 34,000 people who have donated to my show, close to $3 million. That's $1, $5, $10, $50, $100 or more. I am absolutely appreciative, but I cannot. That's that. Let's say 3 million in 6 years. That's 500,000 a year.
Yeah, it's hard to sustain.
Our expenses are $195 a month. So if I don't, so people like, I wish we can cover this. We can cover this. We need somebody black at the White House asking questions. How you gonna pay for it? How you gonna pay for that staffer? How you gonna pay for that camera crew? See, that is what's so nonsensical to me, that our people will literally get mad at a black business owner who demands respect by saying, you're gonna pay me. And then, well, I can't believe you got $350,000. Okay, well, let me ask y'all a question. This is real simple. All y'all black people saying that, who has a 2-hour nightly show talking black news and issues? I do. BET got 11 million. What you get from BET every month? A 1-hour monthly show. I do by myself in a month 40 hours of live original news. BT gives you 1 hour a month, but they got 11 million. Gonna complain about that? See, that's what I'm saying. We can't talk about economic empowerment when we want to suppress black people from participating in economic empowerment. Oh, and for the people out there who are utterly confused, black foundations got checks from me at the end of the year. My lighting system, black-owned company. who built my set, Black-owned company. My production room was built by a Black engineering company out of Atlanta. Who do I employ? Black videographers, Black editors. I got 2 students at Howard University on my team right now. See that folks don't want to go there, but you cannot grow a business if you don't get contracts. See, here's the biggest problem. Access to capital. No. I need access to contracts. I don't need a loan. I need a contract. Because guess what? If I have additional contracts, let's say I get 10 of that $350 a year. Boom, that's $3.5 million. I don't need a line of credit. I'm making money off the contracts. And this is why we are starving, is because we will spend more time hating on somebody who got an ad contract than go, well, how much do the white folks get?
That's a fact. Roland, you laid it out, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Always. Tell them how to follow you, YouTube, all that type stuff.
Folks, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. Download the Black Star Network app. We're adding 2 new shows that cost money, but we're building. And of course, I'm at Roland S. Martin on all platforms. But I just want Black people to understand we will never be able to grow if we spend more time attacking and bringing down our own. That's not how you grow business. And we will learn that lesson. And I'll say this here. This is the most crucial time for Black-owned media. Because the information that I give, the information that y'all give, white media ain't doing this on an everyday basis.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't doing it. They ain't doing it.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Roland, appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, bro. All right, man.
Listen, on a media level, masterclass, hostile question, calm response, then turn it up. Ooh.
Nah, he laid
Whether you like him or not, he's a master in the space for sure.
Very articulate.
Yes.
He laid it out for sure. And especially when it comes to the advertising situation. I mean, even us, I think that we're pretty influential, especially amongst our demographic. We didn't even get approached, but at all. Right. So we didn't. So
doing that Democratic shield thing. It's like, bro, no, stop.
Yeah, we didn't even get approached. But what I'm saying is that they still don't value Black voice. How much we got millions of people that follow us, right? Social media is going viral. YouTube, we got 1.5 million YouTube subscribers, 3 shows a week. I think we're at least worth a call.
The crazy part is the other side was more willing at one point than home base.
Yeah, so it's layered, man. It's a layered, very layered conversation that I think people don't fully appreciate because they're looking at it from a very surface ground level as opposed to an aerial view to actually see the nuances and complexities of this whole situation.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Okay. Before we leave, we gotta talk about this. Switching gears, we gotta talk about this Luka Doncic trade. Anthony Davis shook up the world. Nobody saw that come except for my man Andrew. Shout out to Drew. He actually he made a clip about this last year. That was crazy. But what's your thoughts on this situation?
The fact that LeBron didn't know and that Rich didn't know. I know we joked about it on Monday, but man, the previous commissioner would have vetoed this trade. And
No. But why?
They did it with Chris Paul when Chris Paul was supposed to go to the Lakers.
But that was a little different, though.
Why?
The nuance of the Chris Pay, the nuances of the Chris trade, Paul, I don't remember.
Are different.
I don't think that they thought that was a fair trade. This is a fair trade. Anthony Davis is one of the. No, he's a Hall of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Shout to Chicago. Shout to AD. Whole family like and rock with you. Cool. Luka is younger. A dog on the court. Even if he out of shape or in shape. I saw Barkley talking about that. The conditioning. Fat Luka is better than majority of people in the NBA. I think LeBron not being included tells me a couple theories about what the owners are trying to do over the next 5 to 6
When you
years.
say he's not included, what do you mean?
I think it's crazy that he didn't get the call to ask if he wanted this deal to happen.
Oh, okay. You say that he didn't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we don't know if he didn't know or not, right? Allegedly.
So, yeah.
But the thing about Luka is this:
Everyone on the internet thought that Sham's account got hacked. That's not fair value.
Shamgar.
No, Shams from ESPN.
Okay. Well, the thing about it is this: Luka is 270 pounds and he's 25 years old, mid 20s. That's disturbing. You're the seventh. He's the seventh heaviest player in the NBA as a point guard, 2-guard combo. That's disturbing. That's disturbing, right? So when you start to look at long term, they got to pay him a supermax if he stays on the team, right? We posted it on EYL how they actually saved $114 million by not having to re-sign him to that supermax. But we know that defense
goes jersey sales
a lot. But defense wins championships. We understand that they're not making big men like that no more.
No,
it's just not happening. That's why whatever you want to say about Embiid, he's always going to have a place because he's a big man. Like there's very few big men in the league that perform at the highest level possible.
Yeah.
Like there's like 4 of them probably. So what's more valuable, a big man or a guard? A big man's more valuable, right? You have one of the greatest point guards already with Kyrie Irving. That was an experiment to kind of make 2 point guards work in the system. So it's not like you already have a great point guard. What you're adding is I don't think Dallas lost in that trade. I really don't. I don't think they lost in that trade. I think the Lakers got to get a big man. Who's the Lakers' big man?
Nobody.
That's a problem.
LeBron.
That's a problem.
And the new coach. I know y'all Lakers lovers he's 5 of 3 over the last 8 games. Okay. But Luka is is fat Luka better than skinny Jimmy Butler?
Is fat Luka? Yes, Luka is better than Jimmy Butler right now for sure. But at what point, Zion Williamson, right? Would you?
I wouldn't compare. Luka's in A class. I would say.
What stops Zion from being Luka? Conditioning, him staying healthy. Because when he's healthy,
he's can handle as well. Not as
well. I mean, he's a different position, but I'm just saying when he's healthy, his numbers are just as good as anybody in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that he's not healthy a lot, right? Anthony Davis is injury prone too. He's not injury prone for being out of shape. Sure. But it's like Luka, if you're 25, if you're battling with your weight at 25, what do you think is going to happen at 30? These type of issues don't improve over the course of time; they get worse.
Yeah.
So, we got to see. We got to see.
I'm gonna be real, AD. I love you dearly. Shout out Chicago, legend, Midwest legend, one of the biggest dogs I've seen out of the Midwest. Luke is better. We're not doing this. We're not lying.
He's better.
I want no smoke with the Chicago fan when I see you. Luka is a one in a generational talent. It's not a fair trade, but who knows what the genes.
But so is Anthony Davis. He's a generational talent. He's just not healthy. Sure. He's not healthy.
When he's healthy, better. Luka averaged 32 last year, right? What an 80 average.
I mean, it's apples to oranges comparison. Can't compare the two. He's a big man. He's relying off of a system. Luka is a playmaker that could do whatever he wants on the court, and he has bad energy. Luka is a toxic player. I've seen him curse players out. Jalen Brunson couldn't flourish under him. Kyrie knows how to maneuver, but he doesn't make his teammates better. Luka is very toxic. How he talks to the teammates, how he goes off, his attitude. He's pretty much.
I probably wanted the old era back of that kind of energy.
I've never been a fan of head cases.
Okay.
That's why LeBron to me
Jordan was the head case. Kobe was the head case. All the dogs are head case.
And that's one of the reasons why I think LeBron is better than Kobe. Because A, I think he's just better than Kobe, but B, he's a people person. He manages his relationships differently. He doesn't come in with the alpha, do what I want, curse you out, embarrass you in public. That's not LeBron. That's not LeBron's thing. He's a nice guy.
Chill guy.
LeBron
better than Kobe.
I think most people would agree with that. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Bean.
All right. Well, you know what, man? Only time will tell.
We're not doing that. Luka is better than AD. Yo. Out of shape.
Who you think will go farther this year? Dallas or the Lakers?
The Lakers are a piece of shit right now.
No,
Dallas
no,
for
no.
sure.
They're not a piece of shit. What do they? What's their? No, we're not doing that.
They're what they sixth.
They're on a winning streak. What's their thing? They're on a winning streak.
They're sixth.
They're on a winning streak.
Man, they're at second round of the playoff show with Luka.
Oh,
They have no shooters.
they're number 5. They're number 5, bro. They're number
Okay.
5.
Stand corrected.
No,
No shooters, no bigs, no good coach.
They're number 5, and the Mavericks are number 9. They're in the playing game right now, and they're only 3 games outside of second place. Out of second,
LA?
yeah. They lost 19 games. The Grizzlies lost 16 games. They're only 3 games away from second place. No.
You think they're going to the Western Conference Finals?
They have potential to.
Dallas is. Is Dallas in a better? And I'm. More shots for Kyrie? I'm elated. You think Dallas is going to be in a better position with AD? Better team chemistry?
I think yes. I think that yes, they will be. I think they
Rob
will be.
Pelinka. I don't know what crystals you held under the full moon to get this off, but Mark Cuban said in front of the show, if y'all have to pick between divorcing my wife and keeping Luka, I'm going to the courthouse.
He sold the team though.
For sure. So Mark wouldn't have did this. Maybe the Adelson family will sell it back out because this is crazy. It's crazy.
So you think that who's going further in the playoffs?
I mean, based off the stats, LA. I don't think the AD acquisition makes them better.
Oh, you think LA won?
For sure. AD. No, I like AD. Luka's way better than AD to me. I can be off base. But if I had to just like pick starting a team with I see why Michael Finley grabbed that beer out of his hand. No. I get it. Hey, Jeannie Pelinka, go get him a Mike Rashid workout program immediately. Something. But of course, him and Bron together. I mean, the only concern is both of them being ball dominant, but Bron has shown he can move and
Bron, I think the Lakers need one more piece. They need a big man. I don't know if
available.
I don't know if they called Dwight Howard from his nonsense that he's pulling, or they don't need a superstar. They need a serviceable,
big.
a JaVale McGee type of player. They need a big man.
Yeah.
If they get a big man and Luka stays healthy, they're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna
be in the final, but conditioning was an issue in the finals. He was gassed.
Nah, 270 is crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I thought it was 6'4".
I think he's like 6'7". So it's not too bad because I mean he's, but it's like Zion. It teeters that you're not too far from 300 pounds.
Who was your favorite ball player growing up?
Latrell Sprewell.
Head case for sure.
Latrell Sprewell, and then it was Allen Iverson, and then it was LeBron.
Okay.
So that's why I wore 15. I used to wear 15 because that was Latrell's original number when he was in Golden State. I was a Latrell fan really when he was in Golden State. He came to the Knicks. He started
dog, yo.
Then he choked. Remember, he choked the coach, Carlissimo.
He deserved it.
That was legendary.
Nobody ever told us that. Carlissimo.
Imagine if they had social media. Imagine if they had social media back then. Crazy. Yo, he's the first one to choke a coach I ever saw.
Yes.
I never saw nobody choke a coach. And then they had the mugshot pictures of his neck. Like they had this look like he choked his coach. That was crazy. Sprewell legend for that. Legendary.
Anybody who ever played ball, woo, you understood. Woo. Carlissimo never talked crazy to any black players ever again after that. He was real kind of understanding.
That shout out to nature. That was the nature part. Choking niggas like I'm Sprewell. Yo, that was crazy. Shout out.
Don't nobody find it crazy that AD got traded on Black History Month on the first day for a white boy? That's not.
You don't find that suspicious?
That's weird. Where Dr. Umar at when you need him?
Where's Umar when you need him? Oh man. Okay. Well, we went over a lot. Roland kind of just he took the driver's seat, man. Anything else?
No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I want to stay out of the mess.
Please.
Meet your friend, hold your head.
Salute. Allegedly.
And when they do all that anyway, they're not leaving. The ones that hurt is when they just be quiet and then leave, don't want to talk to you. Ooh, baby. You just doing all that extra. You stand.
As long as you're talking, you stand. That's what I used to always say. My coach even used to tell me that all the time. Like, if I'm arguing, he used to say, like, yo, if I'm arguing, if I'm yelling at you, like, take that as a good thing, because that I'm still having some level of communication. Yeah. When I stop talking to you, that's when you should be nervous and scared.
Yeah.
When they stop communication, when they don't sing, when they go dead 30, that's when it's in trouble. As long as they talking, it's just bad for the moment.
You gotta wait. Yeah. You gotta wait to, correct your errors. What are some other signs of a relationship about to fall apart? That's a good one. When they stop talking, it's finito.
The communication is the biggest thing. I think when they stop talking, when
checking on you,
it's delayed responses, when you constant attitudes,
trying to pick fights out of nowhere.
Vibe check. You gotta always check vibes. Vibe check is important.
Yeah. To my God, hold your head.
Hold your head.
Yeah.
Legendary. All right, man. I gotta stop coming to these events if you sit here too. Like, it doesn't help the situation
at all. And I know y'all be excited, but
stay in the back. You know you're sick.
Yo, I love you. Don't quit. We gotta get Bane mask. I thought, and then Wuhan and whipped up a new little version. I put top of the year. Hey, China got another one. So if I see you with a mask, I'm going back to my 2021 vibe. Talk to you with the mask on.
That's a fact, man. Tomorrow, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, we got a YouTube live, how to boost your credit score quickly. Sandra Martin. That's going to be a very important conversation. Check us out, Carnegie Hall on February 27th. B-Day vibes for the vibe.
Yeah.
We might be at your, favorite Fortune 500 company soon. Allegedly.
Can a young brother get money anymore? Shout out to everybody who stayed loyal, and to all of those of you who didn't. What a mistake. Don't come back now. Y'all missed the ball we once had. It's over with, cuz. Sorry. I feel like Kendrick. No. Sorry. This one probably will break the internet.
That's a fact. Yeah, freelance. Play for any team. Don't stand for nothing, so you fall for anything. Turn on your boy as soon as you get any chance. Shout out to Philly. Home of the Spitters. I will say that before we leave. Philly
that's the debate. Who better, Philly versus New York?
Spitters. Philly got a lot of like bars, like battle rap, freestyle, but they gotta be Philly versus Harlem, really. Because Harlem got the battle rap scene.
Okay.
Battle rap. Because you got Loaded Lux, you got Murder Mook, you got
let's go.
What's my guy?
Yeah, battle. Yeah.
Like these dudes just come off the top of their head, street corner, and that's Philly. Like Philly, at least I don't know how it is now. I know they doing drill music now, but back in my era, and then even going to like Meek Mill, his era, like all that, like Philly
was had rappers,
assassins. Like they assassin for 10 minutes. They rap for 10 minutes straight.
Facts.
That's when we first heard Beanie Siegel, 100 bars.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Beans changed the culture of Rockefeller and really don't get the credit for it.
Yeah, he ushered in.
He's the only one that really kept up with Jay every time, and was going crazy on a bunch of them songs.
Philly owes Beanie Siegel a tremendous debt. He's the second biggest artist to ever come out of Philly, but he's arguably the most important because Meek Mill is the biggest artist, but there's no Meek Mill if it's not for Beanie Siegel. Like he kicked the door down. Then of course State Property, Freeway, all of them, Oskino and Sparks, Young Guns, all of them came. But Beanie Siegel, there was other rappers that was like local stuff like that, but nobody was getting recognition like Beanie Siegel. Like Beanie came out and they was like, "Yo, who is this? He's a problem. He's a problem."
Yep. Yep.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Beanie
Lil
Siegel.
Yep.
Okay.
Shout
All
out
right.
to Gilly, he's gonna be at Super Bowl getting his eagle on.
Oh yeah. Shout out to major figures and all that. But yeah, that boy, Philly got rappers though. Philly got.
He don't get enough credit too, because Gilly was supposed to go to Rockefeller and did work out, then they got Beans.
I think it was perfect how they had the state property though. State property saved Rockefeller. That's a fact.
For sure.
Even when they was going through the shit with Nas, they sent state property up to the radio station to battle.
Big facts. Yep.
That's a
State
fact. They was on the front line. They was like frontline soldiers and this shit. Like Nas die on a holiday, Styles die on a holiday. I'm on your block like the first of the month. I'm on your ass like the first of like yo, that Hot 97 freestyle legendary.
Oh, and we not gonna talk. Hey, young Chris, he influenced a lot about for Big Homie too. He don't get that credit. Young Chris, whoo, he may not get that lore, but if you in the rap, you know, boy.
Not Hot 97 freestyle, crazy. They went crazy on that. That's legendary. And I like Petey Crack.
After the style for a minute,
when I had Meek Mill, I had a lot of Petey Crack.
for sure.
Like the offbeat flow, like, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, that I feel like he was influenced by Petey Crack, but Petey, I don't think he never really got the look that he really needed. But he was one of the dopest MCs too to come out of that whole situation.
What was that party joint Petey Crack had? Oh my god!
Oh, the joint with him and Freeland.
Ooh,
Flip side.
boy, crazy. Shout out to Petey.
Yeah, shout out to Petey. Shit Freeway, all of them dudes, man.
Yeah.
Philly. All right.
Yeah.
It's been real.
Love y'all. Get better, my bro.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Go get some NyQuil or something. Y'all quit coughing. Meet and greet. We're going to take the price up for one. For two, you're going to have a COVID Wuhan mask next time.
Please show your COVID test before you enter the building.
Bro. If she don't take care of you when you're sick, I sign. It's funny.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Fellas, y'all planning something for Valentine's Day? Ladies, y'all planning something for Valentine's Day? What y'all doing? Yeah, cutoff season.
Democrats, y'all on the clock. It's gonna be an upcharge next time around. An upcharge.
Oh yeah, I told you I ain't going. Yep, y'all play all them little games, and then Elon coming and crush it. I told you, David Sachs put a little plan together 4 or 5 months. Billions of capital available. Nah, I don't want to take $200,000 and then this $19 trillion y'all gonna move around in 8 years. Sorry,
That's a fact.
I'll just tell them not vote. Go right to Mexico, South Africa. Sorry.
That's a fact. All right, y'all. It's been real. Love.